Today we're making bún bò xào, Vietnamese sautéed beef noodle bowl. When you want a quick and healthy Vietnamese meal without compromising flavor, this sautéed beef noodle bowl is your solution. It is known as bún bò xào, which translates to sautéed beef bún noodles, or bún bò Nam Bộ, southern beef bún noodles, which differentiates it from bún bò Huế, the noodle soup dish that comes from the central region. Fun fact, a version of this dish is super well known in Paris by the name bò bún, and it's found in virtually every single Vietnamese restaurant in the city. I don't know the reason why the word order of the name is switched here, but it was a small cultural shock moment when I first arrived in France. The tender noodles and lemongrassy beef are complemented perfectly by the crunch that comes from the roasted peanuts, the fried shallots, and the veggies, which along with the herbs bring a freshness to the dish. A classic Vietnamese sweet, savory, acidic fish sauce-based sauce is poured over the top and ties everything together. All you need to do for this dish is slice the beef and let it marinate while you cook the bún noodles and prepare the other toppings. When everything else is ready, the beef cooks in less than 5 minutes and you're ready to dig in. When I used to live at home, my family would make this dish for a late lunch on the weekends after having slept in and eaten a late breakfast. This dish would also make a great weeknight dinner when you don't want to spend too much time in front of the stove. Let's get started. For this recipe, we'll need beef, tenderloin is best, and bún noodles. For the beef marinade, we'll need lemongrass, garlic, shallot, fish sauce, bouillon, sugar, and ground black pepper. For the toppings, we'll need carrot, cucumber, roasted unsalted peanut, a shallot or pre-made fried shallots, lettuce, and herbs like cilantro, Thai basil, and or mint. For the sauce, we'll need fish sauce, sugar, rice vinegar, white vinegar, or lime juice, garlic, bird's eye chili, and water.
We'll begin by prepping the ingredients for our beef marinade, starting with the lemongrass. Peel off 1 to 2 outer layers of the lemongrass stalks. Then trim off the root end. Chop the lemongrass into small pieces like so. Then mince with your knife. Or add to a food processor or blender until you get a fine texture. If you buy frozen minced lemongrass from the Asian grocery store, that will save you even more time. Next, peel and mince the garlic. Peel and mince the shallot. Now we'll cut our beef into chunks of a desired width, about 3 to 4 centimeters. Then thinly slice. Place all the sliced beef into a bowl, along with the lemongrass, garlic, shallot, fish sauce, bouillon, sugar, and ground black pepper. Mix well to make sure that all pieces of beef are coated. Then let sit while you prepare the rest of the ingredients. Cook your dry boo noodles according to package instructions. Once done, strain and run cold water over the noodles to stop the cooking and prevent sticking, then strain. Peel carrots. Cut into 4 to 5 centimeter lengths. Then julienne with a knife or shred. To julienne, thinly slice the carrot pieces lengthwise. Stack up some of the slices. Then cut into thin strips lengthwise. Alternatively, you can use a mandolin slicer with a julienne blade. Next, we'll cut the cucumber. Cucumber tip. Large dark green cucumbers like this one are usually bitter at the stem end because of the sap. I learned to trim off the stem end, then rub it in a circular motion like so. This helps draw out the white sap. Rinse or wipe that off afterwards and bitterness gone. Similar to the carrot, cut cucumber into 4 to 5 centimeter lengths. Then cut into slices lengthwise. Since cucumbers are softer, the slices can be a bit thicker than the carrot slices. Stack up some of these slices. Then cut into matchsticks. Again, these can be a bit thicker than the julienne carrot. I highly recommend buying pre-made fried shallot from your local Asian grocery store. They're super convenient to have on hand. You can sprinkle them on any savory dish and up the flavors. If you can't find them or prefer to make them at home, Add thinly sliced shallot and oil to a cold saucepan. Turn the heat to medium, 5 out of 10. Fry the shallot, stirring continuously for about 4 minutes until you start seeing the first bits turn golden. Reduce heat to low, 2 out of 10, and continue frying until most of the shallot has turned golden. Pull the shallot earlier than you think you should, it can burn quickly. Pour over a strainer, place over a bowl. Make sure you keep this deliciously fragrant shallot oil for cooking. Pour the shallot on a paper towel lined plate and set aside for assembly. Roughly crush peanuts with a mortar and pestle or chop with a knife. Slice or shred lettuce into small strips. Optional, save a few whole leaves for garnish. Separate the tender tops and leaves of cilantro from the stems. Then roughly chop. Separate mint leaves from the stem. Layer up the mint leaves. Then slice into ribbons. To make our sauce, we'll start by mincing some garlic. Next, if you like spicy, mince 1 or more bird's eye chilies. Personally, I like removing the seeds, but it's up to you. In a bowl, add sugar, fish sauce, rice vinegar, white vinegar, or lime juice, and water. Stir or whisk until the sugar fully dissolves. Add in the minced garlic and minced chili. Stir to combine. Now that everything's ready, we can cook our beef. Heat about a tablespoon of vegetable oil in a pan on medium-high. When the oil is warm, pour in the beef and marinade. Sautée, stirring quickly until the beef is no longer pink. This should only take a few minutes. You don't want to overcook the beef because it will lose that tenderness. And that's it. Our beef is done, so let's assemble. In a bowl, add your noodles, lettuce, carrot, cucumber, and the beef. Garnish with the mint, cilantro, crushed peanuts, and fried shallot. Finally, pour the sauce over the top, mix well, and enjoy.
Let's taste. Mix that up a little bit. That is so fresh. You can really taste the lemongrass in the beef and then all the veggies. So crunchy. So good. You need to make this ASAP.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel and visit mmbonapetit.com for more Vietnamese and French recipes.